back once again with another wonderful episode of All Gas, No Trash. My name's Josh. I'm here today with the host with the most, the man of the hour, the man with the power, good buddy Adam.
Yeah, so I'm just going to make this real quick because this is quite the lengthy album, and it's the 8th episode that we're doing for the fucking night, so I do want to
That's mine, you son of a bitch.
Oh, shit.
Which one's... This one's yours. Is that
Testing?
better? That testing? Is that better?
It needs to be up.
Up,
Testing?
up.
Down. All right,
Down.
there's fine.
All right.
So we have quite a bit of shit to cover, especially with us reviewing Magdalena Bay's new album, and it's going to be a fucking doozy of an album. It's close to an hour, and well, we got to get to fucking... You gotta get to work. So
Yeah, we gotta get to cracking.
I just want to quickly mention that I found something that was really interesting, which is just a little quick tidbit.
Yeah, okay.
So I didn't know this. I knew Live Nation owned Ticketmaster, but apparently there's a parent company above Ticketmaster and Live Nation. It's called Liberty Media.
Okay.
So I'm just going to read this excerpt that somebody had written from a Reddit comment, because the Justice Department was like looking to sue Ticketmaster because they basically have like monopoly on ticket. What is it? Ticket services?
Sales. Yeah.
So I'll just read the comment. It's way worse than that. Way worse. Ticketmaster and Live Nation are both owned by the parent company Liberty Media. In addition to TM and LN, so respectively Live Nation and Ticketmaster, Liberty also owns and absorbed Pandora, iHeartRadio, Clear Channel, and Sirius XM. So not only do they own and control almost all live music, but also virtually all terrestrial radio, literally all satellite radio, and even a bit of streaming. And it gets worse. The controlling share of Liberty Media is owned by one old man, which means this is one dude, A, that decides what music you can hear on the radio or satellite radio. B, decides which music gets ads via Clear Channel advertising and the massive chunk of podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Pandora control. C, decides who is allowed to play in the bulk of live venues across the entire nation controlled by Live Nation. And D, forces you to use Ticketmaster to not only buy face tickets, but also controls any resale tickets. Basically, from the very first time you hear a new band until you see them live, Liberty Media controls and profits from every single step.
That's fucking crazy. They also own Formula One, Moto, the not just a team, but like the entire sport.
Right.
Formula One, Moto GP, and World Superbikes.
Yeah.
Which is fucking insane to think about.
So it's just, I'm like, holy shit, man. I mean, if you think the success of a group can be, it basically, this thing basically confirms that plants within the industry exist.
Oh, 100%. I mean, it looks like, Jesus, it looks like they had owned fucking, they own Charter, they own fucking, let's see.
So they own telecommunications.
They're telecom, because they also owned the Discovery Channel and QVC. They also own let's see.
How about this?
Yeah. All right, we'll talk about this. This will be a whole other episode.
This will be a whole entire other episode, because I just found this and I'm like, this is really fucking interesting.
That's a fucking rabbit hole and a half.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll stay tuned for a whole episode on fucking Liberty Media, because we need to do some more digging too.
Yeah. So as I said before, this is Magdalena Bay's new album called Imaginal Disk, if I'm not mistaken, and this is following up on Mercurial World, and I really don't know if they're capable of superseding that album, but fuck, man, this is their next best attempt of trying to outdo themselves, so let's fucking get underway and start fucking listening.
All right, so we got the first track. This will be, and this we're gonna do is just like we do all the other ones. It's gonna be, we pause it, you can pause it, and then you could go listen along with us. So we're gonna do, this is the first track, She Looked Like Me by Magdalena Bay, off of the album Imaginal Disk. So here we go. I forgot to unmute our microphones like an idiot. Anyways, that was Magdalena Bay. She Looked Like Me off of Imaginal Disk. What'd you think about that opening track there, fella?
I think it was interesting. I'm not really sure what's going on in terms of like the narrative. I think this is a concept album, so this person that exists, I don't know who they are, but like they have a counterpart, another person that's like them, but yeah, I don't know what it is. But as far as like the overall song goes, it gives like the impression that this is like the opening of a new world, which is something that was, I think, presented in like the previous album about, I don't know, man. I think Magdalena Bay is just good at creating worlds within music.
Yeah.
And I thought it was an interesting opening track. I can't like talk about anything specifically that I liked, but just like the little twinkle sounds or like the chimes that were heard, I don't know, it gives like an air of nostalgia. So like this is a memory or something. So maybe it plays into the Imaginal Disk thing. But what do you have to say?
Yeah, no, I mean, I have no idea what the fuck's going on, obviously, because this is just the opening up of the deal. But I like it's very fucking, it is very poppy. Like it's very fucking poppy sounding, and also the real criticism I have of this track is the backing track is a lot louder than the vocals.
Okay, I'm going to be honest. I don't mean to sound like an asshole, but this girl...
Is that purposeful? Oh, she can't sing? Is that what you're going to say?
I don't want to say she can't sing, but it's like she has an obvious limited vocal range, right? So you kind of... I feel like you're protecting it by doing this, like making some of the instruments sound louder, so it kind of muddles it a bit. So
yeah,
you don't
so you
really
can't
have to hear like how
yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that that's louder, because it's very overpowering. And honestly, if I didn't have the lyrics in front of me, I don't think I'd be able to really understand what the fuck she's actually saying.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I'm not. Did we listen to the first album that they did?
No,
we didn't. Okay, because I don't recall ever listening to anything like this. So
well, they the songs that we heard were like
we heard like individual songs,
Your
right?
Fire or Secrets or something. I think we've heard
songs,
previous songs from the album, but not the whole thing. So
yeah, okay,
yeah.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to the next song, "Killing Time" by Magdalena Bay off of the album Imaginal Disk. All right, that was the second track, "Killing Time" by Magdalena Bay on Imaginal Disk. I mean, it's still too early, obviously, to say anything, but I am not digging this so far. Again, the fucking lyrics are just completely washed out. That shit at the end where they had, I don't know, the guy or whatever come in and say shit, like... Again, even that part was kind of muddled and washed out. And that dude had a deeper voice that like would kind of lend to being more picked up and as part of this the higher pitched background music. But it just I don't know. It just, and also, one thing I will say that I'm crediting and I like thus far is I like that there is not a chorus. There's not a repeating fucking chorus going on. Both of these songs have not had that. It's just been straight. I don't know what I want to say narrative, but even though I don't know what the fuck the narrative is at this point, but I do like that. I'll give them credit for that. That is something that a typical pop song is focused on repeating the chorus as many times as possible to get stuck in your brain and to get you catchy or whatever, right? To keep you catchy. So I like that so far. But what'd you think?
I think I like the latter portion of the song when there were more instruments coming in. And actually, I'm a bit surprised hearing their music because primarily like their stuff is more synthesizer based. So it is funny that like you can actually hear. Well, actually, they do have other one or two songs on Mercurial World that are like instrument driven.
Yeah.
So hearing this early is like interesting because I would say for like the most part, it's like all synthesizers. So like hearing this song evolve as it gets towards like the end, I'm like, okay, cool. Like they have this interesting distorted guitar towards the end. Then you have like the keys and more things being stacked on top of each other. I just kind of wish that's how the song started because that's when the more interesting bits kind of came. That's like how the song kind of came together. But I don't know, maybe I'm just being picky, but I still don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on.
I'm not sure if it's like suggesting that this person can't sleep because there's something about love, like they're passing time until love comes into their life, but it's not going to. I don't fucking know. We'll see how maybe things will come more easily as with more songs, I suppose.
Yeah, maybe. All right, so you want to do the next track?
Yeah.
The next track is going to be True Blue Interlude. This is from Magdalena Bay off of the album Imaginal Disk. All right, that was True Blue Interlude, Magdalena Bay, Imaginal Disk. What do you got for this one?
I don't know. It's a fucking interlude, so it's like it's a transitional song.
Yeah.
So I don't really have a score, but at least it kind of gives more lore. It seems like so in the previous song there was the person going to sleep. So I don't know if this means that this person going to sleep has resulted in a new form of themselves, like a infantile version. Not literally, but in a metaphorical sense. Like this person is a brand new version of themselves.
Yeah, it felt like kind of a commercial for, hello, you're now asleep. It's you, the new, true you. Which that was kind of cool. I like that. Again, the 3/4 of the lyrics were fucking unintelligible unless I had the fucking, well, I mean, not that there was a song, but unless I had the goddamn fucking lyrics pulled up, I would have no idea what they were saying.
Yeah.
I will give credit also for the alliteration because I am a fucking sucker for alliteration, and I like that.
The mother's mother and your child.
Yeah, implanted, impatient, impossible, memory, mirror, membrane, like that. That's I love that shit. That's excellent.
I did like the melody of the piano kind of being the anchor for the song, and it does bring about like a sense of tranquility. And there was a part, like it was the chord progression between the next stage, the next phase is here, like in the very first portion of the song.
Yeah,
that went wang. It turned into like some THX. The THX sound thing when you go,
right.
Like I thought that was cool. Yeah,
that was cool.
I mean, I can't really say a whole bunch about this particular song, as I said before, because it's an interlude. So it does give more context to the album, or like what the story that's kind of been being thrown around right now. Although I don't have a full grasp of it yet, maybe more songs will help us piece it together. So let's get to the next track.
Indeed. All right, next track we got is called Image. This is Image by Magdalena Bay off of Imaginal Disk. Here we go. All right, that was Image by Magdalena Bay off of Imaginal Disk. That seemed more like a proper, like the normal, I shouldn't say proper, but the normal structure of what a song is with the choruses and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that interlude was definitely, okay, we're changing the tone now. We're going back to what you expect, I guess. I still think that, again, like you said, it's that, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, ironically, but I just do not like the lyrics being kind of toned down.
It's like, it's because there are portions in the song, well, the chorus specifically, when the synthesizer and her vocals harmonize with one another, and it just blends in to the point that it's unrecognizable. I mean... Yeah. I do think this is the strongest track of the album so far, and I'm starting to get the idea. So there was this version of yourself that you created, or not that you were created, but what's the word? Well, there's some kind of creative figure creating this new version of yourself. There was the infantile version, and now you're maybe transitioning into like adulthood, or maybe as a child. And you're being injected with these qualities of being human. I'm not sure if the grand scheme of the album itself is to talk about the process of being human, or what it is to be human, because from being an infant to being a child to being an adult, like you're almost 3 different incarnations of yourself, and almost three distinct people, but there's like a through line, and that's like you yourself, like you are all 3 of those people, but yet you're separate from all 3 as well. Like, if you get what
I get what you're saying. So
I gotta say, like, this I think it's the beat. It's like the syncopation. It's like the multiple. It's like polyrhythmic, and I don't know, man. It just feels fucking nice on your ears. And
yeah, that's for sure. I do like that.
And then the bass line, I really fucking enjoyed the. there was actually like this crunchy bass synthesizer towards like the back end of the song. I'm like, man, these guys know fucking melody, man. Like they know what they're fucking doing. And as far as like the vocals, I think I kind of agree with you on that, but that's just kind of like how they run shit. Because like I said before, it's like the limited vocal range of this girl Mika, right? Like, and I'm not saying that to be an asshole. It's just like to be straight up. It's to say, like, if you're not Mariah Carey, right? But,
right, yeah.
But I think melody and the production of the songs themselves is like that's their fucking bread and butter. Like they know how to make shit sound good, and they also know how to make shit feel like otherworldly. So
yeah.
Quickly before we transition over to the next song, I don't know. I mean, this is possibly just me extrapolating this, but I love like the reverbing, like as if that were to say that there's going to be multiple copies of yourself, like your digital self, I suppose. Or at least I feel like that's maybe what I'm taking out of it. But anyways, what's the next song?
The next song is called Death and Romance.
Okay.
By Magdalena Bay off of Imaginal Disk. Here we go. Death and Romance. All right, that was Death and Romance, Magdalena Bay, Imaginal Disk.
All right. I think this song could use some truncating. There was quite a bit of verses and there's quite a bit of choruses and shit. So I think it could use. I mean, in hindsight, yeah, like I would feel that if they went back and did this song, fucking truncate the chorus, like too much of it.
You know what I really liked though? That crunchy bass, that synthesizer.
Oh, dude, it was
fucking so good, man.
It was like a low frequency.
Yeah.
Dude, the way they use synthesizers, because there was one that was panning from left to right.
Yeah.
And we don't have fucking like studio quality fucking headphones, but at least like they did a good enough job that we can hear it on our regular ass like headphones and shit. It's the way like what?
These aren't even regular ass headphones. These are like shitty fucking $9 on Amazon headphones.
They're feasible. They're serviceable.
I mean, they work.
I've listened to this song before and I didn't initially like it, but now that I've heard it just with actual headphones, I've changed my opinion on it. And as far as like the lyrical content goes and the overarching story, it seems like there's a relationship also with this character that exists in the song that well, at least from my understanding, they it's like making a comparison to a red star, which is like towards the end of a star's life.
Yeah.
So maybe making the comparison that the relationship is somewhat being burdensome to both of them, that they're giving so much to either, and there will be an impending end to both the star and themselves. So
yeah,
I actually really enjoyed like the melody, the fucking bass line, but as we were talking about the synthesizers and shit. Yeah, I mean, I think these guys know how to fucking make a catchy ass song, so I'll fucking give them that. Although I just think it needs to be fucking truncated.
Yeah, even though I felt it was a little too long as well, I do think that this was the best song so far.
Oh, you like that song?
I like this one.
I like the
previous one.
Image more. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt I like this one better than Image. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see if that holds up.
All right, what's the next
track?
Song?
We got Fear, Sex.
Ooh, interesting.
So Death and Romance, and then Fear and Sex.
Fucking.
Basically, Death and Romance is, I don't know, like Fear and Sex are related to both of those things, right? Like, so that's interesting. So
yeah.
we'll see what this is about. So all right, here we go. Fear, Sex. All right, that was Fear, Sex. Magdalena Bay. I take back what I said. This is now my favorite song.
This shit was interesting.
That was very interesting.
Yeah, that. So I think what's going on here is that there's some kind of like cyborg or robotic version of oneself. Since we're just going to self-insert ourselves into the story, I guess, I suppose, that we have our own like digital or robotic versions of ourselves. And then now that this person has been reborn again, they've entered a relationship and it might be reaching its end. And now we're in that part where it's like just afterwards, like, all right, See, I don't know if they made it or they're broken up and this person's like longing for the other person, or we're longing for this other person. And the metaphorical aspect of like talking about some creator putting defective like wires in your head about voices, like that shit was interesting to me.
Yeah.
And then the I think it's called like a staccato when you get that jerky bass part where it's like boom, that shit was tight. And then the last 30 seconds when it just breaks out. I don't know the difference between scales or arpeggios, but that like that Wayne's World shit, that shit was badass.
That was fucking cool, man. Yeah, this is my favorite song now. This is tops. This is the top tits, in my opinion. Now.
So do you think they broke up or like they? Do you think they broke up or they're together and they're navigating the relationship after a fight?
I think they're fighting. I think that's what this is.
Okay.
I think that they're. If you look at the cover, right, it's got basically what I'm assuming is her, and there's like a demon hand or some kind of evil hand putting a disc in her brain.
Yeah, right.
So it's like changing your programming or whatever. So I kind of think that this is the whatever, if it's a simile for a relationship or whatever, that it's like, oh fuck, we're fighting or whatever, but it's like, oh, I don't want to die alone, like. Shit, but wait a minute, I'm just kidding. Oh, also, fuck, I know they fucked up your brain with the wiring or whatever. So like I should just forgive it. We should just forgive and forget. I say, I guess.
Or whatever traits you've been implanted with this creator or whatever the fuck it is. Like, I hope it doesn't get to me before like I get to see you again or some bullshit, or we can recover this relationship. All right, so what's the next track?
The next track is called "Vampire in the Corner." Magdalena Bay, Imaginal Disk. Here we go. All right, that was Vampire in the Corner.
I don't think I like this song.
No?
I think, I hate to sound like an asshole, but I think this Mika Tenenbaum, I feel like she was reaching on some notes.
Yep.
Like you could tell she was forcing it out.
Yeah.
And lyrically, I mean, it's interesting because it's talking about somebody that's like siphoning not literal blood, but like the life out of you, that they're actually doing more harm than good. Yeah. And talking about them as if they were vampires, I think interesting.
It's funny. I also thought that this was kind of like she was stalking this person. Like, oh, I'm just in the corner. Like, oh, because I love you so much. And then, oh wait, I think I loved you too much. Like,
you know what this song really amounts to?
What?
It's the the old internet expression. Oh, I can fix her.
Oh yeah.
Or I can fix him.
Yeah. That's what it is. That's what it is.
As far as like the instrumentals go and like the song, the melody, it didn't really do anything for me, so I don't really have much to say about it.
Yeah, neither do I. All right, Watching TV, that's the next song. Watching TV, Magdalena Bay, Imaginal Disk.
I'm assuming that the relationship didn't work out.
Yeah, because now she's watching TV. She has to watch TV to pass the time. All right, here we go. Watching TV. All right, that was Watching TV, Magdalena Bay. What were your thoughts on this one?
I thought it started off boring and then it picked up towards the back end. I think they definitely know how to like climax a song and make it feel operatic or grandiose. I do think like there are interesting bits because I don't know if this is referring to the main character of the album or the person that they are having a relationship with, that they're basically like having an intervention for this person. Like, you need to meet your demons. Like, if you have depression or if you're an alcoholic, like, you need to confront those things. I'm guessing that's maybe what the monsters mean. And also it's not record scratching, but there was like this repeating thing.
It's like the disc skipping on
it's
CD
like the
player.
disc skipping.
Like if you have one of those like a Walkman and you hit it, it does that thing.
Yeah, it's skipping. So like, I guess as an audible metaphor, it's talking about like resetting yourself after possibly like a tumultuous relationship. Because there's even like a line that talks about, if you want to be clean, you got to scrub until the blood comes out. Yeah. I don't know if that's referring to the previous song about the vampire in the corner, that you need to like absolve yourself of your corporal form, like taking off your skin and
let it
make
air
yourself
out.
clean.
Yeah.
And then there's like a part about I lost it. So I don't know. I'm guessing it's referring to like maybe they're getting back with this person, but if they're gonna have a chance at it, this person needs to fucking be reset altogether. Like,
Yeah, maybe. That's kind of thing. This song was all right. It wasn't like...
Yeah, it didn't really do for me, but it was good in terms of the story being told.
Yeah. If we're not reading into it too much, and there is actually, if we're not just making shit up and...
No, I don't think we're far off. I feel like we're missing some details that we're not able to like interpret right away. So I don't know. But anyways, let's get to the next song.
All right, here we go. So the next song is called Tunnel Vision. Oh man, I was gonna do that double vision, like fill my eyes.
Shit, maybe it's gonna be some like fucking crazy bullshit like Space Odyssey 2001.
Oh, maybe.
Or 2000.
Cool.
We're gonna go through a fucking time warp.
That'd be sweet. All right. It's, Tunnel Vision by Magdalena Bay. Here we go. All right, that was wait, fuck, what was the name of that one? Tunnel Vision, Magdalena Bay.
Fuck, man. I gotta say, these last three songs, I haven't been loving them because I think they've been somewhat like melodically boring. And I guess the last bit of this song where this whole like explosion of just instruments and I don't want to say bullshit because then it makes it sound like I don't like this, but I think it's kind of to portray the like somebody that's self-actualizing themselves, that they realize like, oh shit, maybe I don't need to be in a relationship. Maybe I just need to fucking stand on my own 2 feet and be independent. I'm a strong, independent woman, and I don't need nobody.
And I don't need no man.
And I can be happy by myself. And they're just having these realizations. And so they were trying to save the other person from themselves when they should have been working on them fucking selves to begin with. And yeah, I don't know. This song was, I will say, they seem to kind of be dipping their toes around being like a progressive like rock band with like the laser shit, like the and the rock guitars. But I don't know. It's kind of, I will say it is interesting because you know they've kind of been like a I guess like a synth pop band, I guess you could say, and now they're trying to. It feels like they're evolving, but it does. To me, it feels natural. But I just don't know if this song was all that interesting to me.
No, I mean, I thought this was going back with the I don't know, either the addiction route or like the breakup route. Mm-hmm. This song was like, oh, I turned my headlights on, now I can finally see. So either like we broke up and I told you to fuck off, now I can see, or I went to rehab or whatever, and oh, now I can see. I found Jesus because, you know,
or I fucking dimmed my light so you could shine, or whatever like to make you happy.
Right? Yeah.
So I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I honestly don't know at this point. Anyways, all right, next track is called Love is Everywhere.
I don't believe so.
Adam would beg to differ.
Does India love Pakistan? I don't think
Absolutely
so.
not. Does Iran love Israel?
No.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways,
I don't know why we use those examples.
Because they're so extreme and they hate each other, all right? Anyways, Love is Everywhere, even though it's not, but here it is by Magdalena Bay.
Love is Everywhere.
All right, that was Love is Everywhere by Magdalena Bay. That one was kind of a dreamy kind of thing again.
Yeah, but it was funky as fuck with that bass line.
It was pretty funky.
You know what's funny is that this song is actually not the first time that the instrumental part itself has been featured on a Magdalena Bay song. It actually got assigned like producing credits or even writing credits with Lil Yachty. So they actually did the exact same thing, but they did a little bit more with it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But yeah, it's funny. Like I highly recommend anybody, if they want to check it out, listening to Running Out of Time from Lil Yachty, because it's the identical song. Magdalena Bay just did a little bit more, but I don't know. I think this is the strongest track for me. There were some interesting bits about the part. It's verse 2. I'll just go through it real quickly. When it says, always doing what I should, I'd turn back to do it right if I could. Yeah, always doing what I should. Let's see. Let me get to the part where it's actually interesting. Bit by bit, you shovel it, building an image to judge you for what you did. Wrap it, pack it, throw it with all the shit. There's always room for more. I do think this idea of creating like images of oneself or other people creating images of you, like that you have this idea of a person that you're in a relationship with, and that's like how you imagine them, right? Like you know this person, and then somehow they surprise you, because relationships do fall apart sometimes.
Yeah.
And like that version that you loved is not the person that you fell in love with at some point. Like they're like a new version, or they evolved from who they were. And maybe that's the reason like a relationship falls apart. And to talk about it as if it were like trash and just like to throw it away, that shit's crazy. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah, this song's pretty good. I didn't. It's not like it wasn't groundbreaking for me, and it wasn't also terrible. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Right down the middle with it.
Yeah.
All right, the next song is called "Feeling Disconcerted." Feels disconcerted, man.
Feels
disc inserted, not disconcerted.
Disconcerting,
but like disc inserted.
Yeah,
like it's like.
What do you think the? Oh,
well, obviously it has something to do with the fucking the disc in your brain. Like
disc inserted.
Are you feeling like the disc is inserted now?
You ad lib whatever you want.
Yeah, and you can figure it out. I don't know.
Hit us with it.
Let's hear what it is. Here we go. Feeling disc inserted. All right, feeling disconcerted. That was feeling disconcerted.
I don't fucking know.
So on Genius, I didn't know this, but like when the words are like
those are annotations.
Yeah, like somebody fucking writes some shit about what they think it means.
Okay, but you know what's funny? Just a little bit further down, they actually have notes of what the songs mean. So do you think we could do that at the end real quick, just to kind of see what like how far off we were?
Yeah, where's that at?
It's just above or just under the about section.
Oh, okay, I see it.
But I don't want to look at
about. Yeah. All right. I see what you're talking about. All right. Yeah, we can do that. We can go back and see, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. So
that's there's nothing really to say.
Yeah,
it's like
that
59 seconds.
Quick as fuck.
You bastards.
Yeah.
You threw an extra song in there for 59 seconds, and I don't even know if it added a whole lot. But let's get to the next track.
All right, next song. That's My Floor by Magdalena Bay.
That's My Purse by Bobby Hill.
Whoops. All right. That's My Floor by Magdalena Bay. And I just want to say this first and foremost right now. That's the best fucking song on the album right here.
It's interesting.
Number one, right there, I will say this also. This song has the most commercial potential out of any of these fucking songs.
I could tell, like, this is definitely going to be a great track for a live performance. Like, I think that's going to get everybody fucking moving for sure.
Oh, yeah, and I think that's going to be, this could be used in a TV show, a movie, fucking commercial.
The La 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 part, yeah.
Anything, everything. That La 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 part would be great for like a cell phone company commercial.
Oh, yeah.
Like, as like the backing track of something, like, that's the fire right there. 15 songs, this is the one. That's the one that's going to make them the money. Out of 15 fucking songs on this album, that's the one that's going to make them the money.
It's pretty fucking good. I guess they're leaving behind this fucking, I mean, apparently this person is taking jabs at the other person for just being the sake of being an asshole, or they're going to achieve a higher version of themselves at the expense of the other person because they're becoming transcendental or
right.
So I don't know if that's just kind of like speaking to like the self-actualization shit about leaving somebody behind, because in order to achieve like happiness or seeking greater meaning in life, like you have to go find those answers for yourselves, and maybe having this other person that is basically a burden to you at this point, you just leave them behind.
Yeah, it's like, they're ascending. It's like, hey man, I'm coming up on the floor. Oh, this is it right here. But fuck off if you're not going to come, if you can't make it.
Yeah, because then there's a part where it's like, took the elevator in a fire, pressing the alarm just took me higher.
Yeah.
Never really noticed. Like, she's leaving him behind.
Yeah, I didn't know you were so sentimental. Fucking pussy. That's basically what she's saying.
All right. I dig that track.
Yeah, that was a good one. That for me, this is my favorite one off so far.
It's pretty sweet.
Pretty fucking bitchin'. Anyways, all right. The next one. We're coming down to just track 13. Fucking Cry For Me.
Coming down the road.
Here we go. Cry For Me, Magdalena Bay, Imaginal Disk.
I don't think I want to.
All right, that was Cry For Me, Magdalena Bay. What'd you feel on that one?
That was a cool song. It felt like it's like a hybrid between fucking ABBA.
Oh yeah,
ABBA and like Daft Punk.
Yeah.
like, initially in the beginning, but I like this song. It looks like she's turning into a bitch.
Yeah, definitely.
Like leaving this guy behind. He's like, well, fuck, I want you to remember me.
Ascending.
Yeah, I'm on my way up. Our relationships, I'll feed that to the scraps of my fucking spawn or whatever.
Yeah.
As if like belittling the relationship, because like when you're older and you have kids or whatever, and your kids are asking you like, oh, did you ever have relationships prior to like mom or some shit?
Yeah.
And you tell them stories. Oh yeah, I dated this one person, but it didn't work out. But I'm glad I met your mom or whatever. But that's to me what like this is amounting to is like, oh yeah, you were somebody that was in my life or whatever. And I just like the part. I just like the sentiment behind the song about, oh, we had our time together, but I'm moving on, and remember me for love and not being a bitch or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's actually being a bitch, but yeah.
Yeah, it's like remember the good times and not me being an asshole, but I'm also an
both
asshole.
of us being toxic to one another. But I fucking love the song. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, that was a really good song. I have to say, so far, I mean, well, maybe I'll just save that for the end. But this song was really good. I enjoyed it. I think that like you said, it was very heavily like ABBA and Daft Punk fucked and had some weird fucking child.
It's like some disco, like French disco shit. And
But
then
it's
you have
good.
ABBA. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah, it's fucking. It's not like any shit It's not like the shit that they're playing on fucking the radio. It's not Taylor Swift bullshit.
Fuck. What was I gonna say? I guess if I remember it, I'll bring it up. But let's get to the next song.
Next song.
I was gonna say the thing that really added to it was the fucking violins coming and shit. I'm like,
yeah.
oh fuck yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm a violin mark for sure.
Or the
Whatever.
the string section.
Yeah, strings. Yeah, it was fucking sweet. Anyways, all right, next song. Angel on a Satellite by Magdalena Bay, track number 14, Imaginal Disk. Here we go. All right, that was Angel on a Satellite, Magdalena Bay, Imaginal Disk.
All right, so that's something that's been consistently mentioned throughout the album, the Angel on the Satellite. I don't know what the fuck that is, but in terms of like the song itself, it is interesting. I think this is somebody that's like, I don't know if this is a story about, for this particular song, it's about this person keeping around a simp.
Yeah.
That they've achieved their highest self, and they keep this person that was part of their past life around because they could tell that there's still like a longing for them, and they're in the image of them or them being around or a figure within their life. They keep them in stone because that's the version that they fucking like.
Yeah.
And then that part where she says, keep on pulling, damn man, play that thing, keep on pulling at my strings, because when I see me through your eyes, I love me, so don't leave my side. That's fucked up.
Yeah, that is.
I think that was an interesting line. So I think this person's keeping around somebody in their life to make themselves feel better. Like,
yeah,
whenever they're feeling down, whenever they're coming down from their higher self, like, just, I don't know. I think it was kind of sadistic, but it was cool.
Yeah, it was cool. It was an enjoyable track, and the lyrics were very interesting. Yeah, an Angel on a Satellite kind of gets referred to a lot. I think that the angel, this is obviously me just being fucking stupid, but the angel on a satellite is your CIA or NSA agent that's watching you fucking from above, just making sure you're not doing anything bad.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Oh, man. Anyways, all right, you ready to do the final song?
Yeah, let's do it.
The Ballad of Matt and Mika. The Ballad of Matt and Mika. All right, here we go. Final track, Magdalena Bay, Imaginal
Disk?
Imaginal Disk. Oh, I clicked the pause too soon. So
okay.
Imaginal Disk. Here we go. All right, that was the final track, The Ballad of Mika, and Matt and Mika. The Ballad of Matt and Mika. Magdalena Bay, Imaginal Disk.
Yeah. Man, all right. I think I see what's going on here because of the two-way mirror.
Yeah.
They started and ended with more or less like the melody is the same from the first song. So you could play this. I think you could play this album backwards and have like a different interpretation because in the first song, it's talking about kids coming from a warring state.
Yeah.
And then this one's coming from a more jubilant or happy state or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you can interpret it as somebody becoming jaded, like going backwards, like starting from the ending track going backwards. It's somebody that started off happy and becomes jaded, and then you have the inverse of somebody coming from a shitty background and becoming enlightened, like an evolution. So if you go backwards, it's like a de-evolution.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's interesting. That's it.
Because it talks about the two-way mirror shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
that's very interesting. I think you might be onto something with that.
That's my fucking interpretation. But yeah, man. So we're gonna talk about scores.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do that. What are you gonna give? What's your rating?
I'll write it down.
Oh, we're gonna write it down?
Yeah.
All right. Let's write it down. Here we fucking go. Wait, let me pull up the little. I am going to go with this. You
got it ready?
I got it ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1,
go. Oh yeah, that's pretty much right on line.
Yeah. The middle portion of the album I wasn't too crazy about, but I think conceptually, coming up with like a story about oneself being in the format of a disc or like a robot version of ourselves or some shit that you can implant memories and you're not really the same person in different portions of your life.
Right.
That shit's interesting to me. And I think these guys are excellent songwriters, and I think the album sounds fucking...
Oh, wait, we didn't say what the fucking score was.
Huh?
We didn't say what the number was.
Oh, sorry, it was a 7. I'm sitting between like a 7 and 7.5.
Yeah.
I was going to possibly give it like a 6.5 because I wasn't crazy about some tracks, but I'm like, nah, these guys are doing more than most artists. So like,
yeah.
I really think that they deserve a little bit extra cushion or more points, I suppose. And they brought something cool to the table. I mean, not every song was a fucking hit, but I mean, it was at least interesting. And the songs that do hit, I mean, fuck, they were great.
Yeah.
Whatever the song, That's My Floor, Image. I mean, there was a couple bangers, and I think some of them are gonna end up in television, like you were saying.
Oh yeah, 100%. So yeah, 7. I gave it a solid 7. I think it maybe is. I think probably a more accurate score is between 7, because I originally wrote down 7.5, but then I'm like, it's not really that. I don't know. So I just went with 7. I just rounded down just to be fair. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm pretty much right where you're at. But 7 to 7.5. That's where I'm at with this. The first like third of the album was kind of and then it kind of started to pick up from there, and then it kind of went again, and then that last third of the album was where all the points came from, the tops. And I will say, I'm not saying that like they're doing something that's atypical of what modern shit is. The Joey Valence and Bray nonsense, they're just doing the same shit everybody else is doing. That's why they get a shit score.
Yeah.
This, I mean, obviously, listen, I like that better than them, but this, they're doing something different, and I appreciate that. If you're gonna try something and it doesn't come off that great, or there's issues about it that I have, I'm willing to give you more points if it's fucking different. Mm-hmm. If it's the same shit everyone's doing, nah, you're getting fucked. But I give them the credit for that for sure. Yeah,
and I also do want to say that the Ballad of Matt and Mika is definitely, I mean, it's obvious that it's like a meta storytelling about, they're talking about their experience of moving from Florida to Los Angeles, and I feel like they're kind of taking jabs at themselves, like, oh, we got the happy ending, we're in a band, and we got some small time fame or whatever.
Hooray.
They're poking fun at themselves or whatever. So I think that's kind of cute.
Super cutesy.
But I don't understand like the first song, because it mirrors something that was talked about in the fucking album, is like the mirror of oneself, like the other side of the mirror, or you know, like the Hulk thing, like the other version of yourself. So like I think what we'll ultimately end up doing for like the next episode, just kind of like a quick thing, is just to go over the actual things that are mentioned, like the actual annotations from the band themselves.
Yeah, we'll do like an addendum. It'll be like an addendum to the review.
And then we'll talk about Liberty Media.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. I can't wait to do that.
Yeah, I didn't actually have a lot of optimism for this album, because I already thought Mercurial World was great to begin with, and I didn't see how they could possibly surpass it. I don't think this album did that, but I really thought, fuck man, they went out and tried something different, and I give them points for that, and a lot of there were a good portion of songs that sat well with me, and I mean, yeah, I guess that's all I really have to say is that this was a decent fucking album.
Yeah, this was pretty decent and pretty all right.
The most all right. I mean, it's the
let's not get crazy. It wasn't the most decent and the most all right. It was pretty decent and pretty all right. Okay?
pretty all right. Yeah.
Let's not get carried away.
Yeah.
Anyways, you got anything else to add?
No, that's pretty much it. So thanks for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed it. We'll have more album reviews on the way, and we'll have the next episode for you on Thursday.
Hell whenever Friday technically is when it'll come out.
Yeah.
So anyways, if you want to listen to more shit we do, you can go to GameRageMagazine.com. You can go to YouTube Game Rage Magazine. You can also follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine, Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. If you want to follow Adam and this show in particular, you can go to All Gas No Trash Official on Instagram. If you like anime, might as well go listen to fucking Anime Syndicate Podcast, and follow Frank on Instagram at anime_syndicate_podcast. All right, that'll do it for us. Fucking catch you on the next one.